Now, this is in response to, I asked this guy if he could just give me his first name so I can address it to you guys. This is for all you YouTubers that watch my videos, but his thing, whatever you call it, is at GMYARBROUGH6632. How do you even pronounce that? Gamar Yarborough. GM Yarborough. Maybe that's what it is. GM Yarborough 6632. He asked me a question. Could you do a video, just take like a simple GCD and play over it, and you know, because he basically said, I like how you go up and down from the high E to the low E and you go back and forth in there. Well, that tells me, for me personally, 8 trillion different ways. So the best thing for you, GM Yarborough 6632, maybe you could find a backing track on YouTube or something and just send me the link so for me to play to, because GCD, there's a gazillion things that tells me. You know, I could have it on clean. I had it on clean and I was going to do the video on clean. And I decided, no, I'm going to do dirty. You know, something like that. Or, you know, there's a zillion ways to do it. You know, so I don't know when you say that, just a simple thing in G and then play up and down and show us, you know, whatever. So anything, I don't know how to answer that specifically, because again, I hear a gazillion things in all kinds of genres, GCD, and they're all simple to me, no matter what the mode is or anything. So I don't know what you mean. I mean, if we say, let's just say we're just taking. So your G, we'll just go off of that based on a G, C, and a D, which can, you know, because the thing is depending on how it's played, the genre flavor, if it's a blues, if it's a G dominant 7 versus a G major, or is it a minor, then it, you know, those particulars determine if I'm going to play Mixolydian mode, or I'm going to play natural minor, or Dorian. There's so many things. It can't be, you can't give it to me something that general. So if you sent me a link to a backing track, but basically on a, because if I did, you know, I'd be using Mixolydian, but on something like, I'd be doing a lot of just pentatonic, but I'd also throw in some diatonic, you know. You know, when I go to that G right there, that's when it's hitting the C. One of the big things not to do is if you're playing to a track and it's a G, a C, and a D, don't play a G note when it's playing the G chord. I mean, you can as a passing tone. So we'll just go that route, and I'm only guessing because, like I said, just to tell me, for somebody to type in, could you do something in E and just show me something with the pentatonic? Well, E, what? E major, E minor, E dominant 7. It's really important, specifically the chord. Whether it's a, you know, like I said, a minor, a 7, or a dominant 7, or a diminished, or whatever, because then that's going to speak to me certain modes I can use, and you can't on certain things. So it's a little bit too general for me to be able to give you a good answer. So on basically a GCD, you know, I would typically, I always like to take, first of all, you should have your pentatonic mastered, which means you should be able to play it without looking at the fretboard. That's how much you got to play it. And I can't right now because I'm hurt and I can't. I have to look now. I haven't been playing. Let's see if I can do it even though I haven't been playing at all other than the short little videos. And then what do I got? Where did I just go? I can't, you know, it's not, when I play on a regular basis, I can play without looking. Alright, so on a GCD, I would use just a pentatonic pretty much, but I wouldn't start. If you want to really get something tasteful, say on a G. I would typically take something like, here's your G note. First of all, I would determine what octave I want to start at. Do you want to start? Everything matters where you start out and where you end. You want to start something at a basic, maybe lower place and work your way up on a solo. But let's say I start here. I'm not going to go, you can. Now, again, you can go to the root note for the chord, but I prefer to make things more interesting, so I don't. I like to listen to what everything other than the root note sounds like. So you got... Say I use that area for the heck of it. I'll start with like a... So I'm taking the G and the A note, I'm baby fingering the D note, and I'm bending, and you saw a bending note? It's a B. I'm bending this A to a B, but I've got the baby finger on a D note. You gotta, I don't know if you're able to play that kind of stuff where you bend and you don't, you got two notes here. Okay, so this would be perfect for something like this. So all I'm doing is E minor pentatonic, which is G major. So if you're going to play in a major key, you know, that's the type of stuff I would do. When it goes to the C, I'm bending on the E minor pentatonic. I'm on the B note here, and the ring finger on the D note, and baby finger on the G note now, and I'm bending this up over the C. Killer, killer. So I'm always harmonizing to the chord, not playing the note of that chord. Sometimes I do, I might, you know. So I'm just going down the E minor here. This particular block, if I want this riff, I know right where to go. Now I'm skipping strings. So what did I do? Then what would I do there? Just pure major scale and E minor pentatonic. now I'd go here for when it goes to the D to the C. Right, so then I'd just go up to the E for the C. I think this is what I'm thinking you might have been looking for. Maybe something on this vein. And I would do this on clean. I just got it on dirty, you know, because I really can't play for shit right now. And it sustains the notes on gain. And the best way to get good at that is what I used to do back when I started digging in 2012, is I got a looping machine and I would just play this into it. Just no drum beat in there, no click track, just feel, just get it, try to get it fairly even, right? So play to that for 100 hours. Just that. Maybe G to C 4 times and then have it go to the turnaround to the D chord. You know, and again, I would just work out, try different things. I'm just playing G major scale, which is also E natural minor scale, and I'm just trying out a bunch of things, playing that stuff to death, that looping, just looping that. And you could just do this to keep it simple. And when I come up to this G, just play that G for the C. And right there, I'm doing that when it goes to the C. I'm staying with G. And then you just go like that to the D. Now see, I don't want to go down like that. This will work. That's fine. That's actually perfect to go to from the D to the C. But I like to harmonize instead of going. I'd go. You know, that kind of. All right. Alright, it's 15 minutes, so that's all I can do. All I'm doing here, E minor pentatonic, but I'm leaning towards the G note. E minor pentatonic is G major. I just did a lot of different patterns with the pentatonics and diatonics. Even the diatonic, I'd go. All these different patterns with every scale block in every key. I only mastered one key, and then I just went, well, I can move that if I want to play it in A or C or whatever. I just move all the same. Master one key with the diatonic and the pentatonic, and you'll have a lot to, you know, to use. All right, I don't want to go too long. I think I've gone 15 minutes. Hope this helps. I don't know.